finding a better way to do things and working to make the world a better place in the process is exactly what Wes and his team have been doing for over 4 decades.
Always be looking for what you can do to innovate and improve what you can give back to society.
And where did this innovative, entrepreneurial, community-minded guy come from?
So I was born in Kelvington, Saskatchewan in 1961. My parents were in ministry. So Dad was the pastor at the church there. Shortly after I was born, they moved to Lloydminster. And those are my early memories of life growing up. So farm community, oil community, hardworking community. My parents had a huge influence on my life. They came from hardworking, grassroots farm family themselves, both of them. Dad fought in the Second World War, survived. He was one of 7 that came back alive of his group of 77 from that area, was on Juno Beach. We would spend our weekends, other than Sunday, we'd go and work with the farm community at their place. If you didn't have work ethic, you didn't survive, I would suggest, even as a young child. We got lots of playtime in, but we learned what work was all about.
As a junior in high school, Wes joined the volleyball team, igniting a lifelong love for the sport.
Absolutely love volleyball. In high school, I had to change sports. I had an injury playing hockey. We won provincial champions, came to U of A, played there for a little bit. We won nationals in 1980, so it was a good run. Still to this day, our company sponsors the Pandas and has for about probably 12 or 15 years. Now, I do love the Oilers and I do love hockey. I love watching my kids play hockey, coached all of them in soccer or hockey, the girls and the boys. And now I'll get to watch my grandkids take up sports and I'll be watching them, so will my wife.
So I've known Wes for about 42 years, watching what he's done with GENICS, especially being here, boots on the ground the last 7 years. Absolutely incredible to take this business from a test and treat business out in the field to now a global business around the world.
GENICS started as a tiny little entity, and our company name back in the day in 1981, after a summer job where I got exposed to testing and treating power poles, was Michael Wall and Sons Enterprises Limited. So we started it off, or I did, and then halfway through the summer, my brother joined me, and it started as that company. In 1994, the chemicals we were using were pretty nasty. They were aggressive. And the power company gave us the encouragement to try and develop some new ones, that being Alberta Power. So we started research while I was going to university and continued that on once I graduated. And in 1994, we started a company called GENICS INC. In 1999, we sold half of the company to the big giant ATCO, Canadian Utilities. Ironically, that very year, our first patent was awarded on our first piece of chemistry that we worked on. And that was our launch to what we have today. It's dissolvable glass with no silica in it. It's a preservative, stops wood from decaying, carpenter ants from eating it, and termites from destroying wood. Simply put, we can take the life of a power pole, add double to its life. That's a huge difference for the wood poles and the harvesting of trees in the forest. It's a wonderful thing. And so the utility companies migrated to our technology.
The response from customers to that first game-changing product opened the way to more research and innovation at GENICS. With new products and services in development, the need to find a larger and more customizable base of operations became a priority. Wes and Cal chose Atchison. Wes became a founding board member and strong supporter of the Atchison Business Association. Things were going well, but it wasn't always easy.
Mike Myshak Sr. From the Myshak Group would remind my brother and I, until you've had a near-death experience in business, you haven't been in business. One of our near-death experiences was when we first developed that Cobra rod. Easy to make it on a bench scale, but now we had to scale production to mass production. We took out a $500,000 loan with ATB, built an oven, built the vessel, got it started. And one Saturday, our engineer phoned me and said, "You're probably going to want to fire me," but the whole thing, the temperatures went out of control. We melted the whole thing down. We've lost the entire oven. And that was a challenge. So around we went to every pottery place in the city and bought all their little ovens, went to our manufacturer that made steel crucibles for us for the experimental phase, made them a little larger, and we started pouring rods by hand into the molds because we had a 40,000 rod order that was due for not only ATCO, but back then Alberta Power, Ontario Hydro, and we had to deliver.
I believe the driving force for GENICS' success throughout the years, in both prosperous times and challenging times, has been Wes's determination to run this organization with character and integrity. And the company's grown significantly in the past number of years, and it's become increasingly more professional. As big as it's gotten, it still felt like a smaller family organization. And I think our employees absolutely love that.
If I were gonna find a few words that I could use to describe my dad, I would use radical generosity, I would use serial entrepreneur, and I would also use man of faith. It's hard to, at this point in my life, talk about my dad without mentioning the fact that he has invested in me personally and been there to help me realize the dreams that I have. And he's always done that throughout all the stages of my life, but now I get to live in this daily reality with a coffee shop and roasting company that wouldn't exist without him. Even the very building that I'm standing in right now was his company's sales office. And for him to, when I approached the idea and brought it to him, to immediately go, let's do it, is something that I will be eternally grateful for. So as I'm sure has been mentioned, or at least has been alluded to, my dad works very hard. And so he will spend long days here working, but then he goes home to his acreage and he's willing to work there. But there's always time whenever Brooks, my son, who's almost 2 years old, shows up, and whatever he's doing, the world stops and it's whatever Brooks wants. So, and a lot of the time what Brooks wants is to be on Papa's tractor, and Papa will take him, and whether it's just sitting in the tractor with him, not even moving for a couple hours, or he takes him for rides around the neighborhood, Brooks absolutely adores that time with his Papa.
We have 5 children. We have 9 grandchildren, 10 and 11 due in September. So we're pretty thrilled. We're pretty blessed. My wife sacrificed hugely for me and this company. She poured her life into supporting our family when I, in the early years, didn't have the resources to take care of things properly at the home front. She had a career in hairstyling, and she brought in the money and Wes would spend it. So very thankful for my wife, Kim. She was a wonderful wife and raised some wonderful kids.
So a few words I would use to describe my dad are compassionate, considerate, generous, loyal, and forgiving. And he loves being a papa, a grandfather to my kids. He loves spending time with them and getting to know them. And I know he would do anything for them. No matter what I'm going through or what I'm doing in my life, I know that he's always there for me and always will be there. And he said he's going to live until he's 90 years old, so I don't have to worry about losing him.